Day Collective. It's your girl Sadi coming to you with the word for today. I am the voice. I am the advocate. All praise to the Most High God. Love to the Mother. Love to the ancestors. Love to the angels. Love to the allies. How are y'all doing? I'm doing well. Every day I get to wake up and live, breathe, love, feel is a day I'm thankful for. You know? Welcome to anyone new tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe, follow. For those of y'all tuning in on a regular, thank you. Much love, much appreciation. Sending light and love to everybody who showed up to, step in and hear what I'm talking about, but also reflect. And maybe it's relatable to you and to help you clarify some things in your life. I've been having a lot of words. I noticed in like the theme of my words, it really has kind of just been, and like I said, y'all, I'll be writing these things. And then I come back to it months later, but it's like setting me up for like as an introduction of who I am. But this message is right on point, like with who I am, y'all. I mean, I'm doing these messages because God told me to do them. But by no way, shape, am I just like, I set out to be a TikTok influencer. No. Or like YouTube. No. In real life, I'm an attorney. I'm an advocate. I'm a practitioner. And I pride myself in changing laws, being an advocate for marginalized communities. My passion has focused on reforming the criminal legal system, mass incarceration, addressing those who are consistently in a state of lack, given the very, very intentional structures and that we put in place to perpetuate into perpetuity inequities. And I'm also, clean energy advocate, focusing on clean and renewable energy so that we can keep mother going. Okay. So this is like, that is me. Like, I have prided myself in all the reforms that I've led, whether it's opening up healthcare jobs for people directly impacted by the criminal legal system, or not only in healthcare, but all the other industries, demand skills, jobs where you can make a livable wage, providing holistic wraparound supportive services so that people can really have a chance, y'all. Like, really a chance to really pull away from this. We're going to look at people who have been impacted by the criminal legal system as a problem versus like, hey, let's like for real, let's treat them like how they deserve as people. Why do we punish people forever? But yet we refuse to look at ourselves and hold ourselves accountable. That's not okay. And like, much of the work that I've been doing has been healing work. When people come and we help them, they're coming to us probably at one of the worst points. Definitely not a point in time where they need anybody judging them. They need help. And they don't need conditional help. They need real help. They need navigation. Like, where are the resources? How can I better myself? So if they're mentally there, and even if they're mentally not there, we have supportive services that are going to help them get there and not judge them. Because let me tell you something. Everybody talks about violence, especially these cities, and I'm in the Chicago area. Everybody talks about violence. Everyone talks about how we fix violence. But the reality is the root causes of violence are a massive disinvestment of people of color in hyper-localized communities where all the resources have been stripped. There's been segregation, on city by city. It depends, but when the people are in a consistent state of lack, and then we added all the mandatory minimum sentencing and criminalizing people and using that as a means to imprison them and take away their freedom And not only was it a freedom physically, it was a freedom in every way, shape, and form in terms of any kind of financial equity, any kind of financial wealth, any kind of stability. When you take away the stability of a person and you put their root chakra in a constant state of distress where they are in a survival mindset, when that happens, trauma happens. And when trauma happens and is triggered, poverty by itself is a cause of trauma, y'all. Being in that state of lack. And it causes all kinds of discord. It causes all kinds of chaos. It causes all kinds of dysfunction. So I'm very much an advocate of addressing trauma and getting to the root cause of violence. Not just looking at what trauma does and trying to heal that, but also looking at everything a person really needs, like stable housing, like getting them income. Not just income just to barely survive, but real income, careers, y'all. I led occupational licensing reform in the state of Illinois get people into good jobs where they can have a fighting chance. Get them work, get them transportation to work, get them credentialed, anything they need as part of their goals. And violence too, when we start talking about a state of lack, it's about a lack of hope. And people be talking about hope like, oh, it's just their fault that they didn't pull themselves up by the bootstraps, that they don't got hope. No, they don't have hope because they have been they've been locked into communities where you don't even see the chains. And that's what no one is talking about. You can't even see the chains. And how I know is I had the chains on because I was impoverished and I was in a small town. And I fought like everything to get out of there. I was talking to my daughter yesterday, and it's crazy because she can be judgmental. She's judgmental because she's seen healthy relationships. She's seen positive environments. Sure, things haven't went perfect because I'm an adult and I'm healing myself. But I fought hard to get her out of that low frequency place where murder and jail and drugs prevail. And I'm not trying to talk bad about it, but it's true. And it's not just that place. There are pockets everywhere in the United States where, unfortunately, people, especially people of color, have been stuck in a state of poverty. And it's not just people of color. It's everybody. If you're in a state of poverty, you're trapped in a cycle. And trauma becomes normalized. Addiction becomes normalized, struggling becomes normalized, pain gets normalized, abuse gets normalized, like bad food gets normalized, all this poisonous food gets normalized. Being so preoccupied with being tired, having to have multiple jobs, not having enough time to spend with your family or even think gets normalized. Single parent households get normalized because chaotic, violent things start happening when people are operating in a state of low frequency trauma, and it snowballs. It snowballs across the generations. And what you see are layers of trauma that then cause all these other symptoms, whether it's addiction or mental health issues or physical issues or any other issues, and it starts layering on top of each other. And before you know it, you have this extremely interconnected web of trauma that all is stemming from this perpetuated state of lack that there are higher ups have purposely kept intact so that they can retain their power and privilege. And not only so that they can retain their power and privileges, but also so that they can continue to benefit and reap the fruit of our dysfunction, making money off of us, taking our energy literally, and keeping us controllable, keeping us distracted, keeping us hypnotized. So I am absolutely an advocate of the spiritual ascension to raise the consciousness so that people awake and realize the invisible chains that are holding them back and their families.